Welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Hope everybody enjoyed the break. If you were off last week like I was, I hope you enjoyed that time off. And so today I'm going to talk about gratitude. Traditionally, people have used the month of November to practice gratitude for that whole month. If you've never done it, maybe I can convince you today to start trying it on a daily basis. The other thing that people have found that, their mental health and their physical health have improved. And that is one of the reasons why, we talk about using gratitude. So let's get into it. Let's talk about gratitude because it is hugely beneficial, as I said, to your mental and physical health. So how is that? So benefits, and this is not limited to what I'm going to say. There are many, many benefits. First off, it's a stress buster. As we know, stress can make us very sick. It actually has links to cancer, to death, if left untreated, heart disease, etc. But gratitude can have a hugely positive impact on how we cope on a daily basis with stress. It plays a major role in overcoming trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder, in fact, and it helps build our our resilience. So that's just one benefit. Another benefit is that it is a great immune booster. People who practice gratitude on a daily basis, small, I'm only talking about small, I will tell you how small in a minute. But people who do that are more likely to be taking care of themselves. So if you're practicing gratitude in a small way every day, you're more likely to look after yourself more, do that basic self-care as I talk about, the diet, the exercise, have those regular checkups with your doctor and your dentist. It's the optimism aids, the better immune function. It does help change, the way the brain is wired. And so that, in fact, if you do get sick, if you do need surgery, your recovery time is better. Your recovery itself is much better. So that's another way it can help you in terms of your immune system. But it's also a relationship booster because, studies have shown that, people will respond better if you're more positive. And as I said, it changes the way the brain works. So if we practice gratitude, we're more likely to be positive. We're more likely to be optimistic people. And people will be drawn to that. They're more likely to seek out a relationship with somebody like that. Showing gratitude towards people, your colleagues, your family, your friends, a new or an old friend. This leads to a better quality of relationship, in fact. And people respond better to you as a result. So another reason why it helps benefit you. It improves your mental health, definitely, because it reduces those toxic emotions that we have, and it increases happiness. In fact, practicing gratitude on a daily basis, and I'll talk about gratitude journaling in a second, has been shown. There's been a really big study, and it's one of the key skills to use to raise your happiness level. They've done long studies in Stanford about this over a number of decades, and this is one of the keys that they teach to use is gratitude, and it helps us to be happier, feel happier, and it also reduces our depression or anxiety. Basically, what we focus on grows, as they say. So focusing on the positive will definitely help, grow that positive mindset. Another way it helps us, and of course this would also benefit relationships, be it in work or in your personal life, it increases our patience levels. People who practice gratitude are more likely to behave in a more understanding but also calm manner. They're better able to take that mental step back and to behave more kindly or more calmly towards people, even if they're less kind or they're aggressive. So it does help you, along with meditation, to take that mental step back. It increases our ability to be more sensitive, more empathic towards others, have better empathy towards them, and decreases that need for desire to have that revenge, which it is good. It's good for us. Generally, we're on our own when it comes to revenge seeking. It's our own anger, our own fear. So it's good that way. So we want to decrease that. Improves sleep quality. A couple of ways I would suggest that you would use it for to do that would be, the studies are showing that if you spend some time every night, 15 minutes, writing down things, few statements that, thinking about, you don't have to be writing for 15 minutes, but just thinking about, what you're grateful for that day, a few statements that you're grateful for each day, that shows that it improves our quality of sleep. But if you can incorporate it, maybe with a brain dump at the end. I always suggest to people, if you have trouble sleeping, that you do a brain dump. So get everything that's going on up here out, like up and out, and down on paper, or record it if you want to. Get it up and out, and then maybe finish up by saying, if 3 things you're grateful for, then it helps the mind to rest more fully, and aids our sleep and a better quality of sleep we can have. The other thing it'll do is it improves our self-esteem. We live in a time of massive distraction, not just with social media, but any type of media. Everything is now instantly reported on that. We're always, particularly around social media, but or magazines or television, it's always that, the highlight reel, as I call it. What others have versus what we have. We're tuning in more to other people and what they're saying and their opinions, rather than our own opinions, and forming our own opinions and our own inner voice. And if we practice gratitude, we're less likely to do that. We're more likely to be tuning into our own inner voice. We'll appreciate that people have accomplished it, but we'll do it without the fear, without the resentment, without that comparison trap that it can drag us into. It increases our self-esteem as a result, and our self-awareness as well will grow too. So, studies have shown that, happiness, if practiced daily, can actually build. It can build our happiness. It can boost, our mental health quicker, and far more quicker than most techniques that you use with the likes of me, a therapist. We would encourage. This is why we incorporate it into your day-to-day. We ask you to incorporate it into your day-to-day lives, but it boosts very quickly. In fact, about 8 to 12 weeks of practicing on a daily basis, and it's only for a couple of minutes, practicing gratitude, it's shown in the studies to boost people's happiness levels, to boost your mental health for longer than any other activity that we can give you. So it improves the positive brain activity over that 8 to 12 weeks, and it lasts longer term. So it lasts for a lot longer than any other techniques that we will do with you, and therefore, changes your mindset, if you like, particularly around your mental health. So how do you gratitude journal? It only takes a few minutes every night. As I said, if you want to, you can incorporate, and I would encourage you to incorporate a brain dump every night. Brain dump is simply writing down everything that's on your mind. You can start with the shopping list, appointments you have to do, something that's bugging you that happened in work or at home or with the kids or with your partner or whoever. Get it all out. Get everything you're thinking about out. Just let it flow. Let it out. And then at the end, once you've cleared all that stuff out of your mind, just simply write down 3 things. This is a minimum. 3 things you're grateful for every night. I'm going to give you some questions. You don't have to write them down. They are in the blog, so you can go. The blog will be linked in the description below, so you can go and get them there, and you can use the questions. from there. The other thing you can do is I have a book. It's called The Building Blocks of Self-Care. I do go into more detail about gratitude in that. And there are also worksheets that you can use in that book, because that book is full of worksheets that you can use for meditation, negative thinking, dealing with negative people. There's a whole host of, goal setting. There's a whole host in there that you can use, topics that I cover in that book, and a whole host of worksheets that you can use. And you can get links to it through my website. So questions that you might want to think about. You don't have to do them all. You can do one, you can do some of them, you can combine them together. The first one is about learning from your challenges. So what am I learning from any challenges that I'm facing at the moment? So a challenge could be a situation you're experiencing, a person, an obstacle that you're trying to overcome. But what good things are you learning from this? There's always something we're learning from this. Even if it's not going right, there is always something we can learn from this. Maybe it's just to show you that you can cope in this situation with this challenge. Even looking back at past challenges, when we look back at what we've overcome in the past, we can then see, yeah, I have the skills, I have the resilience, I've done this before. So that can be a good thing. So, question there would be, can coping with a difficult situation or person be of benefit to me? How is it benefiting me? Am I learning something new? The other thing you can take out of this is to look at the other person. Is this actually about the other person? Because we don't know everything about that's going on in that person's life. We don't know everything about them. So, is it about that person, or is it actually about me? Are they triggering something in me from my past? That's something we might want to consider, and therefore we're taking that mental step back to raise our self-awareness, as I said, and get to know ourselves better. But also, look maybe a bit more accepting about the other person. How will facing this situation, this challenge, help me raise my own self-awareness? That could be another question you'd ask about challenges. Moving on from that, questions for other things would be simple, people I'm grateful for, thankful for in my life. List 5 people who've made your life a little bit happier or easier today. Maybe they did something, maybe just a cup of tea, maybe they let you out in traffic. Something simple. Family, friends, work colleagues, strangers that, they helped you in some way. We need to notice these things. We tend to dismiss the little moments in life. Perhaps the best part of my day was, just describe it. And remember, it's not about the big stuff. It's about the little tiny moments that our brain tends to dismiss. This is what we're trying to raise our awareness around. Just think about it for 5 minutes and write it down. You could also go about creating a list of supporters or supportive people in your life. We all need them. I've talked extensively about this. It's part of your basic self-care is to have a list of supporters for different things. Some people will cross those 4 different different areas: social, economic, social, tangible, informational, and emotional support. So who does what for you? How do they benefit you? How does that benefit you? Another one is, how can you be grateful for these people that are supporting you? And to what extent do you take these people for granted? That's raising your own awareness. You might say, what's that do with gratitude? Everything to do with gratitude is about raising your own awareness, and therefore raising your own self-esteem and being more accepting of yourself as a result. So have a think about that. Have a think about creating a journal, anywhere from using questions like that. Maybe, use the questions in the workbook if you have them, my book, The Building Blocks of Self-Care, or simply write down a minimum of 3 things that you are grateful for, today, tonight, and do that on a consistent basis. Make it part of your self-care. A few minutes every night can make a huge difference to your mental and physical health, as I said. So I'll leave it there, and as always, I'm very happy to answer any questions you have. Pop them in the description. If you're connected with me on social media, I'm happy to answer private messages, so you can do it that way if you feel you can't ask a question publicly. I get that. So, do send that to me on anywhere that I'm on social media. And take care. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. I'll be back next Friday as usual. There's a new blog coming out on Monday as always. And I will see you all then. Thank you for watching.